We must fight for our happiness. As boring and terminally offline that line is, if I told you those 6 words were explicitly spelled out at the end of whatever floaty, flowery language classic novel your metaphysical education teacher asked you to read before PID rolls around, you'd probably believe me. Moby Dick, To Kill a Mockingbird. Similes, metaphors, and analogies only anally inclined people would stoop to analyze. Imagine telling yourself that words on a page mean anything at all. It's just a story, a bunch of ink squiggles, an idea some random author had that inevitably dies after becoming cliche. You've already seen everything. Every ARG, RPG, and SCP. Every word, fanfic, novel, movie, game show, medieval times location, every biggest freak out ever, and Reddit cringe compilation. Right now, some mega corporation's stupidly minimalist logo is probably OLED burned into your retinas. You doubt, given how much everything there really is, that anything could surprise you anymore. You're still completely hooked on anything. Imagine if I told you the triumph of fighting for your happiness and winning came from a quasar-like point within the infinite pointlessness surrounding you. An unprompted "we're so back" comment, for example, on a video showing a cool thing that actually happened. If I did that, you might still think that some people's best thing ever means nothing to you. You may still just be scrolling alone. And you'd be wrong. Not wrong about the never-ending colors and words and numbers and honey traps and rage bait torpedoing your mind and mindset. Not wrong about the emptiness or anger or romance or selectively applying sweepstakes guarantees populating your text boxes and reels. You'd be wrong about what it means to play Bed Wars or Clash Royale or Mario Kart Wii and win. What it means to finally find 1,000 high-quality recordings of the most sought-after lost media song. Now the phrase "FEX, Subways of Your Mind live performance" means something to someone in the world. It's always been a deadlocked battle. A battle between "it's so over" and "let's go!" A fight between a million people screaming it's hopeless and 1,000 people unceasingly arguing it's always been worth it. Listen not so closely to hear "we're all doomed" shouted continually on the quietest day of the century or the bloodiest day of World War whatever. They kinda desperately parasitically want you to participate in their conceptually self-defeating antisocial obsession. Are you a doomer or just a late bloomer? The answer may not be obvious at first. So seriously, look between the blinking colors and lights, the Gamblecore jackpots and broken Bossman Jack doors for the way modern doomerism manifests. Look for 1 million likes on deep-fried Mr. Incredible and Ben drowned Y posing with "I wish I never existed" in Comic Sans bottom text. Look for piled up fast food containers, OnlyFans subscriptions, a belief something vague is wrong with society. Look for insecure defense of your so-called static and omnipotent status is really smart or really good at game developing or chess. Look for regret about anything, not going pro in football, League of Legends, Undertale, not asking her out, not keeping in touch, not going somewhere, doing something, examining 10-year-old situations from every angle in the shower. Doomers love to live all present life in the past. Doomers should never change lifestyle as they are strictly theoretically perfect. It's not just a mindset, it's an attitude, a way of seeing yourself as persecuted by a world sinisterly designed to ensure you're unsuccessful. A way of status quo protecting your position as a misunderstood but secretly really intelligent victim of everything life has inflicted upon you. Doomerism is a comforting and weak way to say that it's all out of your hands and the world is unfairly thrusting you toward a future you don't deserve but can't avoid, because any attempts to stop the terrible insanity will inevitably be thwarted by a universe that hates you specifically. And guess what? Someone needs to be there to tell you the irritating truth that the dumbasses screaming "you're doomed, we're doomed, my skincare routine, my Tamagotchi is doomed" are all thinking that same narcissistic, bitter, desperate, unrealistic way. They're all ravenously clinging to the idea that they aren't the reason what's happening is happening, that they aren't to blame for whatever goes on in the future, that they're still the victims of whoever, whatever, whenever, and that
trying to solve anything right now will always be pointless because last time we tried those things it didn't help at all and it's so much work to do anything. It's so hard to fix things, so I guess we should just give up or something, Lamau. Nothing matters.
It's just always so much easier to blame someone else. So much simpler to take yourself out of the equation, plastering "there is no free will" on every road sign and billboard and VPN sponsorship. When you listen to these people, you let apathy or frustration or even just laziness control you. You give yourself excuses to do nothing, say nothing, let the world heat, death, decay into flashy, atomized nothing. "We're doomed" and similar phrases are just desperate pleas to commiserate in nothing. Angry nothing, awkward nothing, quantifiable nothing, addicted nothing, spiteful nothing, exhausted nothing.
Why, yes, you should avoid talking to people because, I don't know, it's too scary and you're too lonely. Now sit in this dilemma pondering nothing forever.
Okay, fine. Maybe a few doomers won the genetic anti-lottery and truly have no escape. But I think that's just another excuse that doomerism as a mostly asocial movement keeps peddling.
Oh no, as a sorry creature with negative a gazillion riz and mostly C's on my report card, I'm done. It's over for me. No hope, no solace, no retribution. I am my own judge, jury, and executioner. I have discovered the inevitable outcome of my life, that all my nothing will amount to nothing, way before I got anywhere near the end.
Really smart of me to figure that one out.
Spoilers suck. Can I just skip to the finale?
Watching literally any piece of media about people with chronic disabilities is enough to all but confirm that doomerism is really just a weird liminal space embrace of barely concealed pumpkin spice dread. You can be born generally content with no obvious mental or physical difficulties, but as soon as that anxiety diagnosis comes,
You're just done. Everything's different. Nothing matters. Give up. Remember, your body and life are now forever imperfect.
any one of those kids with progeria, leukemia, epidermal lysis bullosa has more spirited strength than just one drop of their IV fluid than all C+ anxiety doomers do in their entire biomass combined. What does it take for someone born with a malformed heart and a 15-year life expectancy to lead life with hope and fully appreciate what they have? I think it's the fact that that malformed heart is all they've ever known. When you're diagnosed at age 20 whatever with a new and annoying but non-life-threatening health issue, you might feel like the universe now owes you back that non-health issue life. But of course, the universe didn't take anything from you. No one and nothing did. Things would always have happened the way they would have happened, despite it still not making much sense to say you don't have free will. Doomers look at life as a perfect, theoretically well-defined thing with a start at age 0 and an end at like age 80 and a happy marriage and job and success and euphoria for 99.9% of the theoretical time. As soon as 0.1% of that 99.9% turns out to be less than optimal, life becomes the worst possible extreme. 99.9% just pain and sadness, everything discolored by disappointment, plans now clearly perpetually unfairly prevented from achieving theoretical perfection. By looking at life as a series of euphoric checkpoints to hit, you're disappointed when anything is suboptimal, craving the fixed, understandable certainty provided by the cheesy sitcom theory of how life should be. Everything imperfect now makes you sad, because it could be perfect. Everything suboptimal makes you annoyed. Life is then full of unmet expectations. Maybe it's time for more of us to start expecting nothing. By expecting nothing, I don't mean the doomer woe is me, I'll never have anything good happen to me mindset. I mean that you shouldn't expect the train to arrive on time, the university program to accept you, or the perfect subtitles included bleach waifu to exaggeratedly fall with embarrassment into your lap. But you should really, really appreciate it if any of those things do actually happen. You can just flip the beautiful, perfect, optimal world you see yourself as entitled to on its head to see a relatively messy and unpleasant world that might surprise you once in a while. Stop wallowing in the terrible, non-existent allure of nothing and start expecting to see, feel, and hear nothing around every corner. Be grateful. Grateful because of what you do get, if you do actually get something. If you feel like you deserve a world that's a semi-perfect, comprehensible place for your semi-perfect, comprehensible life to take place in, you should change how you look at this stuff. Not because your life will necessarily without a doubt have any major problems, but because at some point, something's inevitably going to change about your current situation. A friend will move away, a relative will probably die, a pet could enter and leave the picture. Thinking about life as a static, theoretically perfect thing the universe should be bestowing flawlessly upon you is a recipe for disappointment over the smallest of rude comments from the staff at the 5-star dining establishment you rode your horse-drawn carriage to. The way a lot of us think about life is unsustainable in a world where things are continually going wrong due to imperfect political economic systems we were generally born into. We have to stop expecting these systems, effective or not, to do all the work for us. The one place I consistently see the no expectations mindset is in the successful pay-to-win Minecraft server takedowns, the Nailbiter World Cup Championships, the triumph of teams or individuals who expected nothing and won by putting in the work. The current wider fight for everyone's happiness takes place against real people in power who want to take happiness away, against ineffective dumbasses who expect everything from you and give nothing in return. We'll win by expecting nothing and doing everything we can to understand how we'll win, pummeling back all the posturing knockoff media until the band from the 80s sends dozens of crazy lost song variations to our uncountably many P.O. boxes. Every time I say another line of this video, I hope someone might think about something differently after hearing it. We listen to the music or each other because the euphoria feels earned. Basically, doomerism tells you anything bad happening in the world is a symptom of some country, government, institution, polity that's both deeply flawed and unchangeable. It tells you that we are experiencing the inevitable consequences of some vague theories beginning steps, which philosophers once decided imply terror and destruction, and that this means the bad things in the future are unstoppable, determined already by the unchangeable past. To answer the question asked in the title, I, of course, don't think we're doomed, but more because I think whether we're doomed doesn't actually have anything to do with whatever trajectory our world is currently hurtling toward. Doomerism may even be right about how bad things will get, because I can't see the future, but it's definitely wrong about whether you can change anything. There are always ways you can get better at making fun of the dumb, crypto-coded, fake alpha weak men podcasting their insecurities to an apparently too interested world, for example, so maybe a good idea could be to start with that or something. Last thing, we need to stop rallying behind people who say,
Yeah, do nothing, clog your arteries, and keel over in a ditch. Everything is meaningless forever.
because these people have no sincere stake in the future. They're just saying things, trying to bring more people over to their side, more suckers to talk at length about nothing with. In this life, who are you gonna be? A doomer scream arguing about ideas that change nothing? Or a decisive gooner willing to defend a satisfying climactic denouement? All I'll say is that there's no time for feeling doomed when happiness can still be fought for.